What's up, everybody? I'm back at y'all again at the shop, aka my yard. Now, I don't want to make this video long and drawn out, but I want to show you a few things that may just help somebody out. So let's get into it. Now, when you're working on these vehicles, one of the things that whenever you have a problem, what you want to do is diagnose and find the problem. You know what I'm saying? Find the problem. Because what people like to do is when they have a problem, the first thing you want to do is run out and start buying parts. Don't want to do that. You know why? Because you might be buying the wrong part. If you haven't diagnosed it and found out what the problem is, how you know you're getting the right part? Well, I'm going to show you a few things on a common problem that may or may not help somebody. Now, one of the issues we all know, the thing that everybody likes to hate, is the auto start-stop system on these JLs and these JTs. I know y'all hate it, and whenever you have a problem, guess what? The batteries are bad, and you got to go buy batteries. Well, if there's an actual problem, why would you go out and just buy batteries, replace the batteries, and still end up with the problem? So I'm going to show you a few other things that you can check before you go out and spend the money on the batteries. Now, at the end of the day, guess what? It still might be the batteries, but we're going to check some other stuff. So one of the things that you can check when you're having problems is the fuse array. This thing right here. And I'm going to show you where it's located. Here you have your fuse box, got the cover off, and all those nuts right there. Under these is the fuse array. And it will connect just like so. That could be a problem. And that's a problem that a lot of Jeepers are having. That fuse array is going bad. They're replacing the batteries and still having a problem. So that's one thing that you can check. Now, when you get these things, pay attention. There's two of them. If you look real close, you can see numbers on there like 300 amp, 150 amp. What's that for? It's because some of y'all, including myself, have the higher output alternator and you got the upgraded cooling system, which requires more amperage to run that stuff. That's why you get this one. There's another one with lesser amperage. So before you go buying that thing, this thing, make sure you know which one you have before you go buy it. Let's move on. Another thing that can cause you a problem is this, the Canbus connector. Let me show you where that is. It is located behind the glove compartment, right there. Now there's another one over here, but there's been reports of people having issues with one of the connectors where it connects in there and down in there. So it would be wise to check that as well. Check all your connections going in there and check the Canbus connector itself. Now, this is not one of those parts that goes bad for everybody. Matter of fact, most of y'all might not even have an issue with this, but you never know. The other thing that you can check is, yes, fuses. Simple, but you never know when one of those might be bad. So yes, you got to check your fuses. Now, I'm going to point something out that I had a problem with about 3 years ago, and it caused my electrical system to go haywire until I actually figured out what it was. And it's by chance that I actually figured it out. I got lucky. Maybe not lucky, but it was doing a check of things is how I found it. Let me show you. Okay, here we go. Here's my battery. Now, I got everything disconnected on the negative side because I'm actually replacing it with this one. I've already replaced the positive one, and I'm replacing the negative one with a 4-post instead of the 6-post like the positive because the 6-post is too long and it hits this reservoir. So that's what we're doing. Now, when I had an issue 3 years ago when my whole electrical system went haywire, I couldn't figure out what it was. I was checking everything. Batteries were good. So what I started doing was going around checking everything, tugging on wires, pulling on things, checking the fuses. And when I got over here, I did a little tug on the negative side connector, and it's on a previous video. And when I pulled on it, it came right off. Now check this out. This right here, I've got it tight as it can get. You can't tighten it anymore. Watch this. Come right off. On, off. And it's tight. Now you can see it's ground down a little bit because I've taken the battery post off quite a few times, and that will be a problem later on. But when I had the issue before, that wasn't ground down It was a brand new stock battery that came in the Jeep. So that was my issue back then. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you do have a loose terminal connector, you do not have to go out and buy an aftermarket connector like I did. You don't have to do that. You can just simply go and buy your set of these shims from the auto parts store. Cost about $5, and put it in between the connector and the battery terminal post and call it a day. This is what I did the first time I had an issue. Rode it another 20,000 miles before the battery actually went dead. So make it happen. So here's the deal. Before you start spending a lot of money and replacing a lot of parts, diagnose your stuff, find out what the problem is before you start replacing stuff. It could be A, your fuse array, B, Canbus connector, C, a fuse, or it could be D, a loose or damaged terminal or wire or connector somewhere within your electrical system. Or it could be E, your batteries. Batteries could just be bad. And just so you know, I keep spares of all those components that I talked about. Because hey, you never know. So the moral to the story is, diagnose your problem, find out what the actual problem is, and fix the actual problem. It'll save you some money, hopefully, and you'll be much better off, and you'll feel more confident knowing that you fixed the actual problem. So I hope that helped somebody out there. If it did, good deal, pass the knowledge on. If it didn't, still pass the knowledge on. Y'all be safe. Go change your life. Peace out.